I'm offering this reflection on Wednesday, the 16th of December, one of those days in the year when there's a slight shift in the liturgical mood. At Evensong tonight, an additional sentence will be sung before and after the Magnificat. This is the first in the series of Advent antiphons, a series which continues for the next 8 days. Each sentence, each antiphon, begins with the exclamation, "O," and then comprises words from the Old Testament, which the Christian tradition has understood as pointing to Jesus. Wisdom of God, root of Jesse, morning star. Why are these words added to our worship tonight? To answer that, we need to ponder the context to which they are added. Evensong. Nearly all the words that are sung or said at Evensong come directly from the pages of the Bible. There are readings from the Old Testament and the New Testament. There are psalms. There are canticles, songs from Luke's Gospel. But these constituent elements of the service are not stitched together haphazardly to make a whole. Our very familiarity with the pattern of Evensong means that we can overlook the story that the words very deliberately come together to tell. It's a story told in 3 acts. The curtain rises on the world in which Jesus was born. So we sing the Psalms and we listen to a reading from the Hebrew Scriptures. These are words that Jesus knew and that Jesus believed sacred. These are the songs he sang, the prayers he said, the stories he heard. This first act ends with the mother of Jesus proclaiming, "My soul doth magnify the Lord." It's from Mary that Jesus will hear the songs and stories, and it's through Mary that the drama continues into its second act. Mary, in her song, hears the God of her people asking her to respond, and she has enough faith and enough trust to say yes. And so, Act 2 begins, set in the world which Jesus inhabits. We hear from the New Testament some account of his life or of the teaching of one of his earliest followers. This second act concludes with Simeon singing, "Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace." Simeon is the first witness in Jesus' world explicitly to acknowledge and proclaim that in Jesus all the hopes of his people are fulfilled, that in Jesus God's salvation has come to the world. So Simeon ushers us into Evensong Act 3, in which you and I take the stage. For Act 3 is the world of the Christian community, the world of the church. We say the creed, which represents the conclusions we draw about the story we have heard. And then we offer prayer for the world and for ourselves. I'm no liturgical scholar, but I hope that what I've described makes sense to you. At evensong, every night, we don't just listen to glorious music or hear a matrix of scripture that has been stitched together. We rehearse the whole story of God's saving love for the world and for his people, from the covenant with Abraham right through to the era in which you and I live. It's a grand narrative, a great drama, and you and I are part of it. But back to tonight, when Mary's song, which you'll remember, takes us into Act 2, is surrounded by words from Act 1, from her world, the world of the Old Testament. In these short days before Christmas, as we make ready to celebrate the miraculous birth, we sing with reverence and awe that in this child, all the fullness of God is present. The God worshipped by Mary and her people, the God for whom Simeon is waiting, this God is coming into the world. He is all wisdom. He is the star which illuminates the darkest morning. He is the heir of Israel's great kings. In his coming, past and present and future meet. Heaven and earth are reconciled, and you and I are asked to respond. O wisdom, coming forth from the mouth of the Most High, reaching from one end to the other mightily, and sweetly ordering all things, come and teach us the way of prudence. May God bless your evening.